PCB Rapid Prototyping, or DII PCB, aiming for 10 mils precision PCB in 4 hours. This video also be valuable for DII PCB builders. I got a stretch assignment. Find the most suitable technology for in-house PCB rapid prototyping. Also has some limits, fitting within €500 budget using minimum lab space. Okay, we can discuss about those €500 budget. For example, if my findings can prove that I need €1,000, then €1,000 is also okay to find a good solution for a rapid PCB prototyping. In this video, I summarized all my research and experiments what I made to find the right technology for our company. I spent significant time out of my active working hours, but I like challenges, and it is one of the challenging tasks. From the first sight, it looks pretty easy. There's a lot of information about that. In internet, it's mature technology. Also, there are professionals who deliver such kind of services, and we will go through all this finding process and also thinking behind, do you really need something in-house, and why you need it in-house when there are so many good manufacturers out in the market, especially when you're looking in the forums. Guys are saying, don't do anything in-house, do it or order it somewhere in the world in those providers. Yes, it's right approach, but it always takes time. And here in this video, I summarized all my findings, setting up suitable technology for a PCB rapid prototyping in-house, and also proves why we need it. I made a long video trying to explain small details of findings. It could be suitable for anyone who really wants to build in-house rapid prototyping solution, and it may help anyone who wants to do some shortcuts or find some shortcuts how to do it in easiest way, and what requirements to set. Actually, we will talk about the rapid prototyping as a concept. Then we talk about choosing the technology. Then we talk about thin film processes like a dry film, liquid photoresist, and other stuff. We will talk about the spin coating. What does it mean? It's one of the processes used in photolithography. Then we talk about perfect artwork or a perfect film. How can we do it in-house with minimum investments, and then summarize the final solution. In this video, I also cover some experiments what I filmed during my findings. One thing is what you can find in the internet, and is it really works in the real world? That's a good question. And I did several experiments what filmed. Those could be useful for anyone who wants to do a rapid PCB prototyping. A little bit about terminology. In electronics, electronics developed from States, and majority of talks in electronics, even in Europe, what lives in a metric, is inches. And there is one terminology for PCB development and manufacturing. It's 1 mil. It's not 1 millimeter. It's 1,000 of inch. So 1 mil is 0.0254 millimeters. 10 mils following 0.25 millimeters, 20 mils 0.5 millimeters, 40 mils 1 millimeter, and 50 mils 1.3 millimeters. I'm giving some estimated number because it doesn't make sense to do those lot of zeros after the comma. Why we need to know those numbers? I will use it in my presentation, a lot of them, and I want to stick to mil. Of course, I will try to somehow recalculate or refer to millimeters just to give a rough estimation. But anyway, mils are terminology what commonly used in electronic printed circuit board manufacturing. When we look to latest generation chipset packages, we are talking about a pitch range from 0.4 millimeters to 1 millimeter. When 1 millimeter is easy and 0.4 millimeter is challenging. How does it look in practice? Look, this is relatively easy to achieve. It's easy PCB. The tolerance is kind of easy to achieve. It is more difficult, and this is crazy one. This is crazy one. It's crazy one to solder. It's crazy one to develop PCB. You really need a good manufacturing process that you can do all that guaranteed 0.4 millimeter pitches. What is a crazy one? And I think there could be even smaller ones. So this is why that rapid PCB prototyping is kind of challenging task. Let's start with a rapid prototyping meaning. Here I found one public source from professionals, Introduction to Rapid PCB Prototyping Services, and a lot of things are explained here. So they explain what is that rapid PCB prototyping. We agree about some definitions, applications, choosing rapid PCB prototype manufacturer, rapid prototype PCB pricing, cost considerations, rapid prototyping PCB quality and testing considerations. There is a difference from the large volume manufacturing, the benefits of iteration PCB prototype designs quickly, some other stuff, conclusions and summary. And what is rapid PCB prototyping? So, rapid PCB prototyping refers to design and manufacturing of printed circuit boards with an extremely quick time frame, usually 1 to 5 days. 1 to 5 days. It enables engineers to evaluate their PCB layouts in a timely manner instead of waiting weeks of fabrication through standard processes. Weeks? Days? Or maybe hours? So, key features of rapid PCB prototype services include fast turnaround time. This time is crucial. Time is absolutely crucial term, and this is the main reason why we are talking about in-house PCB prototyping. So, prototype delivers in just 24 to 120 hours. Low startup costs, affordable pricing with small batches and quantities. So we are talking about 1, 2, up to 10 probably. Design modifications. So when you have quick iterations, you can do several modifications and then you get best out of your design. Especially when you are aiming in the future to do the large volumes, any mistakes, what is multiplied by hundreds, thousands, costs a lot of money. Even €1 or 15 minutes of labor work, very expensive. And manufacturing process validations, also is important for that. And applications, so proof of concept testing. This is majority what we have. When you build a new board, you don't start with a super large board and then you do from the beginning to the end. No, you are going with the building blocks. Here is a microprocessor block. There is some high frequency block, and there is some low noise block or preamplifier block, etc., etc. And you each of those small pieces, you after put together, you have big spider on your desk, and this is kind of minimum viable product. It is working. It's doing things what is needed, and then you can ask for money from investors and get more money because you can prove that your system is working. So proof of concept is very important. Fast design iterations, reducing time to market, and I would say reducing time. It's the most expensive. Just to imagine, could you imagine that your engineer is not fully occupied for 13 days, doing some additional stuff, but can't do that your focused or assigned engineering design because you are waiting for a PCBs. Choosing a rapid PCB prototype manufacturer, true 24-hour delivery capability, very important. Time. And actually not everyone who is promising 24-hour delivery capability is able to do that. There is a tough competition and you should choose a company who can. And typically those companies are more expensive than those who can't deliver in 24 hours. So there is trade-off between the price. But when you're talking about a rapid prototyping, price is not an issue, I would say. diverse manufacturing technology supported. So you are using different technologies than for a large batch orders. Those are milling, those are laser etching. There are many advanced technologies allowing to make those PCBs faster. There's in trade-off of sometimes of quality, sometimes of tolerance, but when you're doing a prototype, engineer is working that he can find the mistakes, he can pay additional attention. Time is more important. Customizable ordering procedures, experienced engineer's assistance, sometimes you need it. Reasonable pricing and low quantities, we already talked about it. Rapid multi-iteration abilities. Different pricing principles quantified by area. Prototype costs often utilize square inch charge encompassing smaller PCB sizes. And typically, if you do the research, you will find out that for rapid PCB prototyping, the price is made for 100 by 100 millimeters sizes. If you go with a larger sizes, then costs rapidly growing up. As I mentioned, there are trade-offs, and for rapid PCB prototyping, we can involve some trade-offs where it is possible. For example, less dense boards, single-sided boards, and many other things. Not always you need extreme tolerance. When you need extreme tolerance, okay, that's another story. Of course, a different way how you test it, functional testing, simplify design rules and standards. And as I mentioned, instead of 8 mils or 10 mils, you are going for 20 mils, 40 mils. For high power units, you can go even for 50 mils tracks and spaces. Why not? Then you can use simple technology and quickly get those PCBs ready. A lower layer count when possible. As I mentioned, in many cases we can even work with a single-sided board, unless it's not high integration board or using high integration chipsets. Okay, you should also set appropriate rapid prototype expectations. Again, simple rules, less integration. You can do many things just to speed up your prototype building. Once prototype is ready and it's a minimum valuable product is ready, so your product is working on a big spider, you are halfway to the product. You're halfway to the product. And also it's much easier to work with investors when you can show something. You can try more ideas with rapid PCB prototype because saving time, faster optimizations, accelerate feedbacks, yes, especially when you are doing with the new things, a lot of unexpected outcomes coming out during this prototyping phase, reduce risks and design flows, greater development agility, nice words everywhere, but those are right. Those are right. So this is what does it mean rapid prototyping, and in this topic I also answer to arguments don't do in-house PCB prototyping, always go for some company in China, it costs nothing. The costs are not the main issue. Time is the main issue, because this engineering inefficient utilization time costs you thousands and thousands. And let's check, at least in one good China manufacturer, it's popular manufacturer, how much cost that PCB prototyping in a factory, because you will always have the trade-offs, do it in-house or do it in a factory. Here's a famous manufacturer, PCB Way. I think many companies, many manufacturing services companies using this provider to get PCBs, and they have a long relationship. And you will find out that there is a PCB prototyping offer as well, and we will do some instant quote even without signing in. And I will put 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. What is typical prototyping size? Let's put quantity of 10, layers 2, thickness 1.6, quote now. And what we will see is, so board type, single pieces already cut, different designs in a panel, we'll set one, So the same, sometimes, okay, you can do several designs on a panel. Size, quantity, 2 layers, glass fiber base. I think this is a temperature, standard thickness in millimeters, minimum tracks. They offer even 6.6 mil. It's absolutely great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Here you can see already calculated quantities, total 5 pieces, shipping cost 24 to my country, and you can see 30 euros and you are done. Want an extra urgent? Bam! It's 4 times more expensive. But as I mentioned, time matters. And they had this extra urgent, I don't know, okay, if pay before, we can ship next day, and then, okay, yeah, that's absolutely great. Yeah, those are all standard requirements, and they calculate for you. You can see, if you go for 100 by 100 millimeters, they charge you, Jesus, 5 euros for that. Why they charge so low price? Good question, but probably in the future when I need a real product, I will have already established relationship with a company, and let's try to make it 150. What will happen then? Bam! 5 and 45. When I'm going out of this prototyping services or prototyping size, then costs are rising significantly. If I reduce it to 50, you can see the same. So there are some kind of predefined 1 meter by 1 meter probably equipment. We are 100 by 100. Yeah, 500 by 100 and 10 pieces. This is 1 meter by 1 meter sheet, what that machine probably is operating, and this is standardized size. Doesn't matter even I have 10 pieces or okay, let's go for 5 pieces. It's the same. You can set up costs that dominate to manufacturing costs, and if I go for 15, bam, again, because then you need by far more. But if I go for 10 and 20, small changes. The optimum is 10. The optimum is 10, and then I'm giving you for free. It's kind of entry costs. And here I agree with those guys who are talking in internet. It doesn't make sense to build PCB in-house if you can get it for that money, even with the shipping. But as I mentioned, time is a cost, and I'm living in European Union. Latvia is in European Union, not in a center, and that means all the shipping they promise. Typically, it's 2 weeks with last mile, couple of days in the next week, and then engineer switching capability to the new task and other stuff. So you always have 3 weeks between iteration. It's too long. It's too long. We are not so perfect company that immediately we can get it. We can start work when you get the PCBs. There are another task, you should finish them, and then you switch to another one. You know that engineers are not jumping between the tasks. They are not efficient when they're jumping between the tasks. You should be focused on one task, drill down, and really in early morning you come, you switch your equipment in, and start to work, testing, building, making, really focused. They're working with a focused pattern, some 20 minutes high focus, 10 minutes relax. Okay, you can drink a tea or just do some exercises, and 20 minutes another high focus tasks. This is how engineers work with the highest efficiency. If they jump between the tasks, they are not efficient because the switching time is very inefficient. And no, there's plenty of things what you should know when you want to be efficient. This is about the pricing, but as I mentioned, either it's 29 or there is 124. Doesn't matter. If you have a customer who is paying and you have a tight schedule, you should, this is not the money what you should count. This is not the money what you should count. Sometimes the question in your local market, maybe there is some PCB manufacturer. We have small market, we have PCB manufacturing company or even several of them. But still the turnaround time is about 1 week, and they don't have so good internet ordering system. You should communicate a little bit more, and then shipping, still you are around a week, and quality maybe is not that good, and currently it's better to do it in internet from the big manufacturers, and this is what people are doing. Anyway, great. Part 2,